1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
You are going to hear in moments how Donald J. Trump plans to, quote, drain the swamp. Just some updates for you as the total is now 3. That's the tally. 3 children under arrest this morning locally in the suburbs, arrested after allegedly making threats to, quote, shoot up schools. Those threats posted on TikTok. The results? Several districts and multiple schools across South Jersey are shut down, closed this Monday morning, September 9th, unfortunately, due to the threat and due to the fact that authorities knew there were apparently other kids. They made 2 arrests last night and 1 more this morning. So the total of 3. These juveniles, we don't release the names of juveniles, nor do police officially. But these posts were originating on TikTok. They threatened there would be shootings at 5 schools across South Jersey. I'm not even going to name the schools, and I'm fully aware, I'm cognizant of the fact that when we have school shootings in the news, like we had tragically in the news in Georgia last week, you have these copycats. And so they will be dealt with accordingly, according to the authorities. And kudos to law enforcement across South Jersey who quickly investigated this, and law enforcement at the state level. I don't know if they used any federal law enforcement resources, but we know for sure across New Jersey they had at the state level, the county level, the local level. And these were 5 schools that were threatened. You think about the parental reaction here, but you're talking about junior, senior high schools, middle schools, Catholic schools as well. And so this, it sends a chill through parents. I don't know what your take is on it, because maybe if you look at this in writing, you say, oh, they should just go on with the school they made the arrests. But if for me as a parent, if I learned that there was a threat at one of my kids' schools, I would say, nah, you're not going today. It's just, I'm sorry, maybe you think I'm a wuss, but I understand the fear here and the hesitation. So we have today, we have schools across 2 districts that they shut down. Unfortunately, they shut down the schools. Also, that affects the transportation. Mm-hmm. So, Dan,
What would you send I mean, there were potential of these schools staying open today. I mean, would you send your kids to school on such a day? There's no way. It's like it's horrific that these kids even think or do they think it's funny? Is that what's going on here, or are they just crazed?
They have 3 under arrest, and so I hope that they throw the book at them, but as well, bring in the parents, have the conversation. If they have mental health issues, if they genuinely have mental health issues or at-home issues, then I hope they get the help they need. But, unfortunately, here's the thing, and I know many of you with Second Amendment, you believe in the Second Amendment, but is the question now to the parents, do you have firearms at home, and are they properly locked up? And to me, as somebody who believes in parental rights, I'm going to say this. If you believe in the Second Amendment and you also believe in parental rights, then you know where I stand on this. I believe that as a parent, if you have firearms at home, then you need to make sure that they're locked up. Yeah. Period. If you have young kids at home or kids who, come into your home with your grandparent, you need to be a responsible gun owner.
Can I throw you a curveball?
Okay.
All right, so you hear the case of what happened down in Georgia with the father being rightfully charged for gifting his son a gun, right? Mm-hmm. Where do you stand on a parent that has a gun that they legally own that's locked up that a kid accesses? Do you think a parent should be held responsible if it's a situation like that where it's, a responsible gun owner locking up and the kid just goes and grabs the gun? And
okay, full disclosure, grew up in a home full of guns. Okay. And when I went to my grandparents' house, on my mom's side, my Grandpa John, United States Marine, injured, and disabled because of his service. Yeah. Right behind him, his rifle rack behind the Lazy Boy recliner. Nothing was locked up.
Wood paneled the walls as well, right?
Yeah, right. So nothing was locked up
Yeah.
in my childhood. It was unthinkable because we knew there would be consequences, whether it was the grandparents' house or my parents' house. But it's a different time, and I get that. You got to, and I think we're all at that place. I think most gun owners are responsible and have a safe, for crying out loud, that everything is locked up and not with some
I think it's just a reminder with your children, if you are a responsible gun owner, to have that conversation as to what the purpose is of these guns, the rightful purpose, and why they need to be respected and stayed away from, and all
True.
that.
And so I would say this, is as far as alcohol, is your alcohol locked up? Do you have your prescription meds? If there's anything powerful, is that out of the reach of especially a young child? And I would say the same thing about the firearms. You need to be responsible, and I don't have to preach to this choir. I think most gun owners are responsible gun owners, but I think that no doubt in South Jersey, all of these families, hopefully it brings forth a high quality conversation, about being a responsible person and a responsible gun owner. And by the way, the tragedy of this, is that if you have firearms available, the likelihood is not that a kid is going to turn it on their school, but they may very well turn it on themselves. The self-harm is a big issue with the mental health crisis. So you're doing it, for your own kids' safety, and you're doing the right thing. But in any event, these schools unfortunately shut down today. They plan on being back to school tomorrow, and they said they'll just enhance the police presence and open up the conversation. I think this is an important conversation for every parent and kid to have. And by the way, to have the conversation and this happened to one of my sons, that, he went to a kid's house and the kid pulled out a pistol and said, "Hey, look at this fire, look at my dad's gun." And he said, "Yeah, pretty cool." And then I got the phone call. "Hey, Mom, can you pick me up?" So that's where I want that to be, just have them aware that, no matter what your age, if somebody just whips it out, and it's a firearm, pun intended there, but seriously, you might want to leave that environment.
Yeah.
Unless you're hunting with somebody. That's a different story.
So you support the decision of the superintendent to close schools, or whoever
I
made
do.
the decision?
I think they did the right thing because it was still an active investigation. They did make the third arrest this morning. So I support, it sounds like they're doing the right thing, but I hope that they open up the conversation too. And not for a witch hunt type thing, but for kids to have the right conversation. And by the way, if you're a kid and to have a conversation with your kids, hey, if your friend has access to a firearm, it's good for their parent to know that they can access it, because again, the self-harm issue is actually a much bigger issue. All right, I digress. Let's get to, Dan, our producer Dan, Lieutenant Dan, has outlined this and has all the audio. I want to get to it. And there's a lot of other news of the day. Of course, all the preps with the big debate tomorrow night right here in Philadelphia, National Constitution Center. But I want to get to this of the former POTUS, the former president, Donald J. Trump, speaking at this rally at in Wisconsin, in Mosinee, Wisconsin. And by the way, the grandfather who I mentioned, Grandpa John, and Grandma Virginia, Jenna, as she was known, in the Rhinelander, Wisconsin area. So that's what I was talking about. Oh, yeah. My mom's a native.
Wisconsin.
Land of the Hodag. My mom's a native of Wisconsin.
What was that word?
Land of the Hodag.
Oh, okay. Is that allowed?
It's a dinosaur-like mascot critter. Anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know your Wisconsin.
I know my Wisconsin. So Trump is there, and you have a lot of Second Amendment people there, but Wisconsin, we know it's in play. So here he is, and he's talking about our nation. Let's go to, first of all, what he calls the weaponization of government, and talking about police, all of this. Let's get to it.
Step by step. We will completely overhaul Kamala's corrupt Department of Injustice and turn the Injustice Department back into the best law enforcement agency on the planet. Instead of persecuting Republicans, they will focus on taking down bloodthirsty cartels, transnational gangs and radical Islamic terrorists, which words they won't even say. They won't even say any of those words.
Love it.
Second, Trump says he'll bring back free speech in America.
When we know the facts and then the story gets written the exact opposite of what it is, you start to lose faith in the press, I will tell you. But I will sign an executive order banning any federal employee from colluding to limit speech, and we will fire every federal bureaucrat who is engaged in domestic censorship under the Harris regime.
Overbearing there, Don, do you think? Or
I don't know.
The media?
Is that, he's saying this. He will sign an executive order banning any federal employee from colluding to. This is a jam-packed statement. Colluding to limit speech. He says they're going to fire every federal bureaucrat who engaged in domestic censorship under the Harris regime. There's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know if he can do that. Yeah. I mean, it sounds good to say I'm going to protect free speech. I don't know if he can do that.
Yeah, like how far does it go? Because to take people behind the scenes, I mean, there are times where we reach out to Congress people, senators, and we book interviews and we set times when we talk about what we're going to talk about. Is that colluding with campaigns? Is that colluding with government officials? Or, how far where's the line drawn here?
Yeah, I'll be honest, can he do that? Can he? Now, if he's talking about somebody who's with, let's say, because remember what happened with Twitter, that there were people who were on the payroll that were active, let's say in the CIA, and then they were among those who came out and talked about Russia, and Trump, and also there were individuals still on the federal payroll with the CIA and DOJ, reportedly, that influenced Twitter and social media before Elon Musk bought it. So if people at the level of DOJ, if they're trying to influence social media and that sort of thing, or intimidating free speech in that regard, I would suggest this: we have a remedy for that. You're really not supposed to do that. We can investigate that. I just don't like the executive orders on day one. Yeah. I kind of want to get rid of that.
Yeah, little libertarian bones in my body kind of buzzing after that statement there. But colluding to limit speech, though, is the phrase there. It's not, control speech or anything like that. So it's, trying to prevent the censorship that we're seeing on the social media. So I get it, I guess.
But I thought that was when he said that he would propose that somebody like Elon Musk, that he would set forth a task force to try to root out this kind of thing. Okay, that's fine. Like that kind of thing, if you have a transparent panel and they say, hey, we're looking at X. This is what we're not X. We're looking at XYZ, fill in the blank. Yeah, I can't say that anymore. But if we're looking at this, here's a website. Here's a website at what we're looking at. Here it is. It's fully transparent. We have a board. This is what they're investigating. I have no problem with that if it's transparent. But I just think we have to be careful.
Yeah. Maybe go to cut 4 here then. Step 4. It's the.
Here it is.
Yep.
Fourth, to curtail the power of federal bureaucrats and save your thousands of dollars, we will cut 10 old regulations for every one new regulation. And at the suggestion of a great guy, Elon Musk. Has anyone ever heard of him? Huh? No? Elon. Oh, there's a rocket. Look, a rocket's flying. It's Elon. Now he's very good at what he does.
So Elon Musk, he would create, we reported that, a week or two ago, the Government Efficiency Commission that would look into financial and performance audits of the full federal government. I love that. I mean, we talk all the time about those so-called, gatekeepers here locally in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania, people who will review that. That's all good as long as it's transparent. I don't want a government witch hunt. I don't even want another J6 committee where they're just allowed to spend our tax dollars and do a witch hunt. I would love to shut that down on both sides. And so make it more efficient. But at some point, it has to have an end date. We're going to look at this, And then when we're done, it should have an expiration date. I like J6, the fact that years later they're still rounding up people. They just got another guy in Delco.
Yeah.
And so they bring these people to their knees and make them confess, and it's something like a misdemeanor. And so they go, oh, well, I'm guilty, and they want to break them down.
It's creepy.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, so like bringing it together, I mean, cut one there. You have him talking about the weaponization of government too, and I feel on a grand stage we've forgotten about the border. We've let crime skyrocket in the cities. We've let the situation develop with these terrorists that we're just ignoring what should be actually talked about when it comes to criminal justice, and instead we're prosecuting Americans. It's not a good situation we find ourselves.
I agree. Let's go to step 5.
Step 3. Sorry.
Step 3. We skipped one.
Third is I will expel warmongers. We have these people, they want to go to war all the time. You know why? Missiles are $2 million apiece, that's why. They love to drop missiles all over the place. I had no wars. Remember Crooked Hillary used to say, look at him. He's going to cause wars. No. My personality, look at his personality. He's going to cause wars. My personality stopped wars.
I agree with that. Do you agree? His personality, because people know him, but there's also that factor that when this guy says, what he says, which is sometimes not politically correct, we learned that, right? That he'll say things that no other president has ever said before, but because they go like, yeah, he's the man, he's not kidding around, so then they respect him, because terrorists, they respect somebody who says, hey, you do that and I'm going after you. And they go, oh, whoa, Trump, he's not messing around here. And so we see that. All right, we're going to go 5 through 10. We got to get through it because coming up right at 10:30, you are going to get some insights, speaking of Trump's personality. So an insider view, right? An insider view from within the Trump camp as far as what's Trump thinking and what can we look for tomorrow night here in Philadelphia National Constitution Center with the Trump-Harris debate. So all of this still ahead.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Have you heard all the talk about fresh pet food? Well, at Dogs and Cats Rule, when it comes to fresh, healthy ingredients, we lead the way. Hi, I'm George Parenti, and I'm here to tell you there's nothing better nutrition-wise than fresh food for your pet. Stop in to one of our 7 neighborhood locations and ask our expert staff how a real, fresh, meat-based diet can change your pet's overall health and well-being. Shop online at dogsandcatsrule.pet. Dogs and Cats Rule. Shop small, shop local, shop family.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
This is Jonathan Cans, third-generation owner of Marvin E. Cans Heating and Air Conditioning. Have you recently had an HVAC tech at your home to fix your unit and he wanted to sell you all types of upgrades? Look, if your AC unit is acting unruly this summer and needs to be fixed, we'll send out one of our technicians to do one thing: fix your AC. And if we do think you need a new one, we'll have one of our factory-trained install teams put in a new state-of-the-art train cooling system to keep you cool. Visit us at marvinecans.com. That's MarvinEKANZE.com.
At PGW, safety is essential to delivering clean, reliable natural gas to Philadelphia homes and businesses. If you smell gas, call PGW at 215-235-1212.
Tune in to Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Phil Cannella and Joe Joanne Small, The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210.
It's not just about watching the game, it's about betting on it. I'm Mike Valeni, and on Cash the Ticket, Jim Costa and I break down every college football and NFL matchup like it's the last game we're ever going to watch. From the best bets to the sneaky underdogs, and of course, as my co-host likes to say, the value. And the one thing we're not going to do is pretend we're professionals. We have fun with it, it's an entertainment product, and it makes watching games a hell of a lot of fun. So Cash the Ticket, follow it in the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Support the Evesham Township Police Foundation. See Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra at Cherokee High School in Marlton, Saturday, October 26th.
Conklin doing his thing, his best voices, his best shtick. Joe's family is just, they're like back from the Osmonds. They're Osmonds on steroids. They're unbelievable.
They made fun of the Cowboys, though. I've known him for such a long time, but I did not know he could sing like that.
That's Conklin with City Rhythm at Cherokee High School in Marlton, New Jersey, October 26th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
JoeConklin.com! Hey, Clementon. Yeah! We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. WPHT.
We will drain the government education swamp and stop the abuse of your taxpayer dollars to indoctrinate America's youth with all sorts of things that you don't want to have our youth hearing. Ultimately, we'll limit, and you know what we're doing here. I say it all the time. I'm dying to get back to do this. We will ultimately eliminate the Federal Department of Education and send education back to Wisconsin and back to the states.
Writes central stage for Trump as he lays out not his top 10. I don't know why he didn't do top 10.
Right? Doesn't make much sense there.
You know, he did top 9 for whatever reason. Maybe he's the 10th reason. Just Trump. Yeah. Boom, number 10. But by the way, the Associated Press, which you know is such an unbiased, fair journalistic agency, their headline: Trump threatens to jail adversaries in escalating. So what he's saying is escalating rhetoric. Did he just threaten to jail his adversaries, or is he saying? Because you heard him say the words, he wants to drain the swamp, and he's for states' rights and pushing things like, education back to the states. But let's go to our next one. Is this number? That was number 5. So let's go to 6. He will not tolerate DEI.
6. We will not tolerate so-called equity policies that punish Americans based on race or gender. America will return to the merit principle, which has just been approved by the Supreme Court of the United States. You work hard and you will be very successful. We're back to the merit system. Nobody thought that was ever even possible. We need merit. There's so many people that are left out in the cold, and that's not going to happen anymore. You work hard, you work diligently, you go to school, you do what you have to do, but it's based on merit. Again, you haven't heard that in many, many years.
And you heard him earlier talking about, that we lack trust in our institutions, which brings us to Trump's step 7. And in this one, he would use RFK Jr. maybe to take on corruption at certain federal agencies.
Bobby, RFK Jr., that was a meaningful endorsement. That was a great endorsement. We'll take on the corruption at the FDA, the CDC, World Health Organization, and other institutions of public health that have dominated and really are dominated by corporate power and dominated really by China. We will establish a panel of top experts to investigate what is causing the decades-long increase in chronic health problems and childhood diseases, including the autoimmune disorders, autism, obesity, infertility, and much more. And Bobby's going to be very much involved in that.
See, I've heard so many people who are not political people feel that this is their issue, whether they're parents, millennials who want to grow gardens, who are people skeptical of big pharma or of the CDC post-pandemic.
Yeah. Like you look at the commercials on television now. It used to be cereals and there'd be toys and stuff during football games. Now it's pharmaceutical commercial followed by pharmaceutical commercial. There's so much money in this industry that just exploded during coronavirus. Why are we not looking into it? And why are we not looking at how they fund politicians and how there's such a cover-up going on in the whole pharmaceutical industry. You had Dr. Marty McCary on last week, who does great work investigating and looking into this stuff.
Yeah, so true. Let's get to steps 8 and 9. What else Trump plans to do to drain the swamp?
I will ask Congress to pass sweeping reforms to prevent foreign influence peddling, bribery, and corruption like we have seen with a certain family in the United States. The Biden crime family, that's the family. What the hell is happening with that family, Rod? What's going on with that family?
What's going on with that family? But, and that really leads us to the fact that I know that recently Liz Cheney announced that her dad, and then we saw over the weekend, right, Dick Cheney, who, full disclosure, I voted for Cheney Bush. I voted for that ticket. But to me, I think the fact that for Dick Cheney to come out and put out that statement, which is just so ironic, that he says, well, I'm putting aside partisan politics. I'm paraphrasing here, but I'm going to, he's going to vote for Kamala Harris. And to me, I don't know what you think about this, 855-839-1210, but to me, I believe this helps Trump. The fact that the original swamp monster, Dick Cheney, is now criticizing Trump and saying he's voting for Harris Walz. I think that's an endorsement that if I'm Trump, I want that. I want that kind of statement to say, oh, really? Look at the swamp monster. Look at the left used to call him the boogeyman, name your name. And here's a guy who wanted Iraq, who, and I know we talked about this earlier on Kale and Company, but it's debatable how much he actually profited. But you look at the profits from Halliburton, the controversy from Halliburton. He went from working in the government, Cheney did, to working for an agency that the profits went through the roof. And we're talking about billions of dollars. And by the way, Liz Cheney, if you look at her wealth, that she's estimated to be worth tens of millions of dollars, up to $44 million, because of her Cheney family trust.
Tulsi joined Tucker Carlson and actually discussed this. You want to hear that?
Yeah.
I have a very simple message for my Democrat friends, my independent friends, those who may not be sure about who they're voting for in this election. Dick Cheney has just made the choice very clear. A vote for Kamala Harris is a vote for Dick Cheney, the architect of everything that has gone wrong in the Middle East for the last few decades.
Afghanistan and Iraq, let us not forget. So I think that's a powerful statement from Tulsi, and she brings forth a great point. All right, I've got to take a break because we have a great guest just ahead. We'll take you inside the mind of Donald J. Trump and the debate preps, what they're looking at, and what you can expect as well from DJT when you see him on stage tomorrow night during what is hopefully, but probably not, and probably is, the only debate that will see Trump-Harris. I certainly hope not, but we'll take you inside for some insights, so insider information. But when we think about going outside, what a beautiful time of year. I mean, this weather, if you have tickets to the Phillies this week, by the way, wow, gorgeous night for baseball tonight, 6:40 p.m. You'll be able to watch the sunset. These gorgeous evenings
Tampa Bay
where
Rays
it's
coming
crisp.
to town.
What?
Tampa Bay Rays coming to town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 3-game series, right? Starting tonight, 6:40.
Yep.
Beautiful nights. And you know what else it's beautiful for? These September road trips, because this is a gorgeous road trip season for us. But do you know if your vehicle is road trip ready? My friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles, they're going to help make sure you and your family are safe out on the roads. These service centers of the Piazza Premium dealers not only handle all your regular maintenance stuff, but also diagnose possible issues before they happen. Schedule a service appointment online today. You want to visit PiazzaPremiumAutomobiles.com for that dealer nearest you, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware. I will be at one of these. I get to do some road tests, which I can't wait, but it's PIAZZA, PiazzaPremiumAutomobiles.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
Yeah, welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are having two fabulous back-to-school specials. The 2024 S60 front-wheel drive sedan and the exciting electric C40 each can be leased for 36 months for $369. Do-it inception would be a down payment and taxes and registration fees. But in New Jersey, the C40 has no tax. The $369 is an incredible payment on each of these Cherry Hill Volvos. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo. Our team would be honored to partner with you.
Support the Evesham Township Police Foundation. See Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra at Cherokee High School in Marlton, Saturday, October 26th.
It was fabulous. It was the most joyful night I have experienced in a long time. God bless America. There's hope. There is so much hope with joy and laughter.
The Frank Sinatra guy, I really liked him.
His imitation of the Bee Gees.
That's Conklin with City Rhythm at Cherokee High School in Marlton, New Jersey, October 26th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
JoeConklin.com! Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile. And you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
I will expel warmongers. We have these people, they want to go to war all the time. You know why? Missiles are $2 million apiece, that's why. They love to drop missiles all over the place. You know, I had no wars. Remember Crooked Hillary used to say, look at him, he's going to cause wars. No.
So there's Trump talking about the war machine, Dick Cheney doing him a big favor, and Trump releasing his reaction to Dick Cheney, by the way, and that real endorsement of Kamala Harris, which I think for a lot of people, for that sliver of voters that look at something like this and say, what? Dick Cheney endorsed Kamala Harris? Yeah, I'm definitely going with Trump. So it's opposite land.
There, Kamala.
Right? My goodness. Let's get some insights into, with Philadelphia being center stage in the nation, arguably in the world, with this huge debate. For some of us, it'll be an inconvenience as far as road closures.
It's going to be terrible.
I know, it's going to be a nightmare.
Do we have the road closures again on this?
Oh, yeah.
Is the entire old city closed?
Not all of it.
Oh, not all of it?
Not all of it.
We'll have to get to that at some point. That's going to be miserable.
But we do have a great guest to give us some insights, get into the brain of Trump and what we can look for here. RNC Strategic Communications Director Tommy Pigott is in the house talking about what we can expect tomorrow, thinking about the strategy here and what's important Good morning, Tommy. Thanks for joining me.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So, when I look at this, I think of what Trump has to do. And quite frankly, I think that the best thing he could do is just let Kamala Harris speak. Just let her speak. Let her rip. You know what I mean? I wish he would just say, you know what? I'll give up some of my time to Kamala. Just ask her more about what she believes
Hand her
in.
the microphone. Let her bury herself.
Yeah, well, I think getting at what she believes in is really the heart of this whole question here. I mean, there's been all this talk of a quote-unquote viral moment, but what I think is more important for Kamala Harris is actually what comes after that, because she has yet to personally disavow any of the radical far-left policies she supported for 30 years in office. And then all of a sudden we're supposed to believe 2 weeks ago she had this revelation and everything she's ever believed in is just completely fake. It's totally unbelievable because she still holds these radical policies. We've seen it from her time as vice president, from her time as senator. So there's been a lot of talk about these viral moments that she's had in the past, and I think that's even a generous term for them. I think what's more important is what Kamala Harris says after, because we deserve answers on why she's lying to the American people about her policies.
Well, and this brings in, as far as I know, David Muir will be there and with ABC News. And so the questions matter. The follow-up questions matter. Trump's microphone will be muted. And so obviously she'll be able to hear him, right? So if he says something under his breath, she can hear him. The audience won't. But what do you expect to see from the commentators, from the questioners at ABC?
Well, I hope to see fair questions. I mean, we're not doesn't necessarily hold our breath here. We'll see what actually ends up happening, because too often when we have these debates, it ends up being 2 versus Trump, 3 versus Trump, depending on how many moderators there are. President Trump, being the skilled debater he is, comes out ahead in these debates, even though he's battling both the moderator and his opponent. But I hope the moderators are fair. That's what they should be. That's what the American people deserve. But the American people are also smart. They're going to see these answers from the candidates, and they're going to be able to tell that disconnect. Kamala Harris, for example, has been going out there saying she's going to lower costs as a day one priority. Well, day one for her was almost 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And what have we seen? Costs up 20%. The American people are smart. They're going to see the disconnect between what Kamala Harris is saying and the results of her policies, which we've already been living under for almost 4 years.
You know, one thing, Tommy, that I see for Trump is that he is fueled and energized by an audience, right? A lot of support, even the cheers. And so it'll be quiet there in the National Constitution Center, right? We don't have the studio audience. We don't have Kamala supporters, but especially we don't have the Trump supporters. How does that impact Trump and the way that he conducts himself in a debate? Because in the past, he had some great moments during debates when supporters, would cheer for him, that sort of thing.
Well, there's absolutely no question that President Trump has an amazing base of support. We see that all the time when he goes around the country at these rallies. The movement to save America is growing by the day, and people getting involved from all different types of demographics that used to be Democrat, from cities that used to be Democrat, politicians that used to be Democrat, now joining this movement because it's a movement for all Americans. And I think what we're going to see, though, is President Trump going to that debate, backed up not only with his amazing skill as a debater, but with the record of success. I mean, we saw that with the debate against Joe Biden, the most dominating debate victory in presidential politics, literally forcing Joe Biden out of the contest for president because of that debate victory. President Trump has the record and the facts to back up what he's saying. And that ultimately, in my mind, is the big advantage that we have on our side with President Trump and the Republicans, is that our policies actually work. Our policies, when they're implemented, actually help people. Kamala Harris has to spin her way out of inflation, the worst border crisis in U.S. history, the world in chaos on the brink of World War III. So I think President Trump's going to go into that debate. He's going to have those facts. He's going to have the record, and he's going to have that vision to make sure we get back to a secure border, a safe world, a prosperous economy. And again, he has the facts to back it up. We know his policies work, and that's the big advantage he has.
Yeah, the disadvantage for Trump and, frankly, any conservative or any Republican, but especially anybody who is a MAGA Republican, right? Because they want to vilify us. That is, something that we've established. So the big advantage here is that he's up against a so-called mainstream network that in the past has shown its bias. And how does he get around that, A? And B, are you a little worried that, Kamala Harris or the commentators could trigger him with one of their statements?
Well, I think kind of two things. First, President Trump is an amazing communicator. He's the best communicator of his vision. And so he speaks directly to the American people, whether it's going to be on that debate stage or whether it's through his Truth Social account or whether it's at rallies. He knows how to connect with the American people because he's speaking to their concerns. We're going to be coupling that with our world-class digital social media operation, our world-class communications operation to make sure we're cutting through the noise, cutting through the fake news, making sure people get the facts they need, calling out Kamala Harris's lies in real time. I encourage everyone listening to follow at Trump War Room if they're able to see those real-time fact checks of Kamala Harris. So we're going to be cutting through that noise. And I think it goes back to something I was mentioning earlier where the American people are smart. Just think of all the glowing coverage that Kamala Harris has received since being installed as a Democrat nominee. And yet President Trump has the momentum. President Trump is leading. President Trump is expanding the electoral map. And I think that speaks to the fact that even though we have this biased fake news media, we see the American people looking at their lives, looking at the policies, and seeing the disconnect between what Democrats are telling them and seeing how President Trump is actually speaking to their concerns, actually has solutions. So, of course, going against the fake news media is always a challenge. It's always something we got to do. But the American people are smart. They know what policies they want to see. And I think we're going to see that coming out of this debate.
And for you personally, I mean, are you advising President Trump to go with these influencers? I'm a mom of teenage sons. And I was amazed that they said, "Oh yeah, I heard Trump talking." And I said, "What?" And they were with, influencers that I really don't listen to, hadn't really spent much time thinking about. But for my sons, they and all their friends are talking about it. And so what about, somebody in your generations, your advice as far as Trump? Are you advising him to go on with a Joe Rogan, MMA? All of this has the attention of that critical, 18, I would say demographic of 18 to 32-year-olds, especially young men.
Well, I think one of the advantages President Trump has is that he's speaking to the future. So President Trump is going out there, he's speaking directly to the American people. And one of the ways he does that, one of the ways he gets around the fake news media is these hour-long interviews he's having with people across these different platforms, people that maybe don't tune into politics that often, maybe are just tuning in now. He's going out there and he's talking to them. He's talking about their real concerns for hours on end. And think of the contrast to Kamala Harris, who can barely do a 16-minute joint interview on a friendly CNN platform, while President Trump's going out there and speaking to people. I think the big thing that President Trump is doing so amazing here is before even people search for information, he's on these platforms, right? He had the most successful launch of a TikTok account and of any political candidate on the platform's history. So when people go and they look for these things, he's already there. So people can see his message, can see what he's discussing with these different influencers, these different podcasts. He's cutting through the fake news, getting his message out there. He's going to keep on doing that because that's one of the areas that he really does thrive in, as he does in so many different areas. But making sure he's out there talking to people, reaching directly to the American people, even on platforms where people don't usually discuss politics, because that's part of making sure we bring in the next generation and into the Republican Party and into the movement to save America.
And so what issue for you personally do you hope that he's able to touch on tomorrow night in tomorrow night's debate as you look at it, especially to grab maybe different groups of voters who are not those political people, whether they're young men. I think that you've done a great job with getting the attention of young men, but how do you get those different, groups of voters who are on the fence? Nearly 30% polled say they need to learn more about Kamala Harris. What do you hope to hear from Trump tomorrow night that may convince that 28 to 30% who are reportedly on the fence?
Well, there are really so many issues that touch the American people in really profound ways. But for me, one of the most important is this idea of the American dream, something that has been foundational to what it means to be an American, the ability to get ahead, to afford a home, to start a family. And what we have seen under Kamalanomics is that the American dream is becoming unaffordable. We're seeing the housing market unaffordable in 99% of the zip codes in this country. We're seeing the savings rate, which is so necessary to start a family or even to save for a down payment. The saving rate, especially among young Americans, is plummeting. We're seeing more Americans now concerned about affording their monthly expenses than saving for retirement. The first time that's happened in American history. The American dream under Kamalanomics is becoming unaffordable for millions, and that goes directly to what it means to prosper in this country, to have a prosperous economy. The contrast with what President Trump was able to do when he was in office about expanding the American dream to now is really stark. And President Trump laying out that vision, I think, is going to appeal to Americans of all demographics, but especially young Americans, Americans looking to start that family, buy a home, get into this American experiment, the American dream, making sure they're part of this future, part of this prosperous economy that we should have, and making sure we get back to that. I think that is so important. It's something that President Trump speaks to often, and I expect him to speak to it as well during the debate.
So what I hear you saying, and we appreciate you joining us, Tommy Pigott, who's RNC Strategic Communications Director. What I hear you saying is Trump has talked a lot about Reagan, and that's Reagan-esque, to express hope and hopefulness. And so that's the balance that I hear you saying. On one hand, to bash the current administration. On the other hand, to express some hopeful and positive energy.
And I think that comes into the idea of President Trump having that record of success. When we look at the economy, when we see prices increasing 20%, when we see the housing market so unaffordable, and you contrast that with what President Trump was able to do, we know the path to get back there. We just need President Trump back in office to do that. And I think that really appeals to a lot of Americans who are not able to save right now, who are struggling to make ends meet because of surging energy costs, because of surging food costs, because of surging rent costs. We need to get those costs under control. We need to have real wages rising again. President Trump has the vision and pathway to get there. He actually, for example, just outlined in a major economic speech his vision to do just that, lowering energy costs, reining in government spending. Common sense things that we need to get back to that only President Trump can get done, because what we see from Kamala Harris is doubling down on the exact same policies that have made families so much worse off than when she took office.
Yeah, and especially here in Pennsylvania, some people are paying more than 40% in their PICO or their power bill. I know I'm a Philadelphia resident. I don't even want to talk about my PICO bill. But until next time, RNC Strategic Communications Director Tommy Pigott, thanks so much for being here this morning, giving us some of these insights into tomorrow night.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. You can follow him on social media. I know you know who Tommy is, but just somebody who I think it behooves Trump to bring in all these different voices. And he didn't have somebody, to my knowledge, somebody like Tommy, who's represents a younger generation and represents young males. I think also his son Barron Trump, who we told you last week is going to NYU. We played that for you. But I think the fact that he's going for young men, I think is very smart. And even at the start of the school year, I'm just, sometimes around all the teenage boys, especially, and the kids, and they're talking, and their conversations are changing. And that is encouraging to me, that they're talking about real issues, and they're saying, yeah, but did you hear Trump on so-and-so podcast? He's really not that crazy. And when I hear that, I think, oh, okay, this is encouraging. That to Tommy's point, they found a way to break through and get younger voters to actually just listen to what the guy says and let them judge for themselves rather than believing these snippets of, oh, he's crazy, he cray-cray, he's going to take over the government, he's dangerous. I think that's where a Tommy is important. What are you laughing at?
Cray-cray.
He's cray-cray.
Just cray-cray, yeah.
Well, that's why the girls saw it. It's like, he's a cray-cray.
It's fascinating, though, that Donald Trump, 78 years old, portrays himself as such a young individual. I can't think of one advisor on this campaign that's over like 60, 65 years old. I'm racking my brain of people that come on the show and such. And
that's a good point.
Yeah,
that
he's doing a great job of
Dan, I'll just tell you.
Keeping with the times. And all.
I'll tell you and your wife, Maisie, that kids keep you young.
Okay.
I think the fact that he's a dad of a teenager, but he's also a grandfather.
That's a great point.
And I will say kids and grandkids, they keep you young. They keep you sharp. You know their music. You know what they're talking about, what they're thinking about. So I think his kids and grandkids are probably one of his greatest assets. And he put them, on the stage, on the, when he, obviously the GOP RNC at the big convention.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that you saw the entire Trump family, and we can't forget his teenage granddaughter, Kai, who's brilliant and fabulous. For her to get up and speak like she did, and so passionately.
I can't do that. I'm on the radio every day, and there's no way I could stand in front of a crowd like she did, a national crowd, nationally televised audience, and not be shaking in my boots.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Kamala will be less confident than Kai was. As a teenage, underage, she's, 17?
Wow.
Kamala will be less confident than Kai.
I could see it. Yeah.
And I hope that she is...
No scripts?
No.
Yeah.
No script. She came out there, spoke for her granddad, and the family, and I think it's significant, the family did not want her. They had to have an internal debate. Because I don't, me, I'm always like protecting the kid, right?
I think that's the way to be but they get to a certain age. I mean, she's still under 18 though, so.
She's under 18, but they were not going to stop her.
I feel 18 is the age that.
Well, but let's think about Barron. Melania was having none of that.
Yeah.
I think poor Melania is freaked out about these. These are real death threats.
Well, from day one, I mean, when they first ran, it was Barron Trump's relationship with Melania is creepy, and they all attacked her. So, yeah, I'd keep that behind wraps, too. It's you media, don't get involved in my raising my child. Get the hell out of here.
This is true. I can't wait to meet Don Jr. I've never met him. Have you met him?
No, not face-to-face. No, never.
So this Thursday night, obviously, Dom Giordano, host, and Dom has been gracious enough to have all of us, the Talk Radio 1210 WPHT family will all be there, but I look forward to meeting Don Jr. this Thursday night.
Yeah. Scottish Rite Auditorium, 315 White Horse Pike, Collingswood, New Jersey. And coming up on the Dom Show, we'll be giving away tickets to that as well, so stay tuned.
Still giving away. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So my kids are like, can I go? No.
Not allowed.
It's a school night. Sorry. Like, I would love to meet him. I'm like, sorry. 855-839-1210. We got to take a quick break. So thankful that you're here this Monday morning. Such a huge week ahead. Oh my goodness! But this debate coming up, we'll talk about it. All the issues of the day. We have tons of audio. Oh wow! Just a jam-packed show for you. Be right back.
Hey everyone, it's Donald Trump Jr. Join me and Dom Giordano Thursday, September 12th at the Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood, New Jersey for the next Politics and Pints with WPHT. We will talk all things Trump, the 2024 election, and my father's book, Letters to Trump. South Jersey and PA suburbs are hugely important to electing Donald Trump president. Just head to 1210WPHT.com for tickets right now. Hope to see you there.
When you go on vacation, does it make sense to have someone else pack for you? Of course not. The same can be said for your retirement. Your 401k could be packed with things you don't know about or even need. If you're close to retirement but don't have a plan customized to your goals, that's kind of like taking a 30-year vacation with no idea what's in your suitcase. Seems like a stressful way to start what should be a relaxing time. Jim Cipriotti and the Retire Ready Financial Group can help you unpack your savings and build a plan to help reduce future taxes, along with a clearly defined income strategy. Call Jim at 610-894-7415 for your complimentary retirement game plan, or visit retirereadyfg.com. That's 610-894-7415.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
40 days to lose up to 40-plus pounds with NJ Diet. It only takes 40 days to lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40-plus pounds. NJ Diet uses your hair, saliva, and blood work to personalize supplements that will target your hormonal imbalances so you can lose that weight. Then NJ Diet uses your DNA info to help you keep it off. Call Dr. T, 855-5-NJ-DIET, or go to njdiet.com. 40 days up to 40 pounds, 40 days up to 40 pounds, NJ Diet.
Is your car still under warranty?
No, not anymore.
My mechanic just suggested an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover repair bills if anything happens to the car. New brakes, transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait, you pay nothing on repairs? Ox gets it fixed? Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance?
Yeah, you don't pay. Ox pays. Ox even has a 30-day money-back guarantee and is A+ rated on the BBB. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike those other warranty companies.
The last thing I need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-224-8517. Ask about senior and military discounts. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care. 800-224-8517. 800-224-8517. Or go to oxcarcare.com.
Hey, Dawn here. When it comes to your home, trust is everything. For 45 years, Kitchen Magic has built a reputation for transforming kitchens with precision and care. From custom cabinets to countertops, backsplashes. In just a few days, your dream kitchen becomes a reality without all the hassle. Trust the name your neighbors have relied on for decades. Kitchen Magic. Get your free in-home consultation at kitchenmagic.com. Kitchenmagic.com. Let's cook up something extraordinary. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic!
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Dawn Stensland, weekdays 10 till noon, only on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
And on the free Odyssey app.
We have so much in store for you. Even Elton John is sounding off on the Rocket Man comment. We have an 84-year-old Florida lady who, I used to live in Fort Myers, Florida. It was Wink TV. It was one of my first TV markets back in the day. And so I know exactly where this happened. But this huge gator attacks this 84-year-old lady and her dog.
She's got a great story to tell.
Oh, my gosh. So we'll get to that
You went opposite, though. I feel like most people, go to Florida eventually in their life and then move from New Jersey to Florida. But you're saying you moved from Florida to Philadelphia?
I know,
Why?
Exactly. Well, there were a few points in between, but bigger, better jobs. Let's just put it that way.
That makes sense, yeah.
Right. No gators. Escaping the gators.
The humidity. Get out of the humidity, too.
We have a lot of breaking news as well moving forward here locally. And I do want to give you some specifics because if you're heading into Philadelphia tomorrow, at any point you may see those rolling road closures. So we'll give you a better sense of what that looks like. And we have some new insights and information about tomorrow night's big debate, making international news, Trump v. Harris. So much news, so much going on. Your thoughts, 855-839-1210. The number to call. Thanks for being here this Monday morning. Be right back.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano with an easy question. How are your cholesterol levels? Managing healthy cholesterol is a key to a strong heart and overall wellness. For over 38 years, Rescue Natural Supplements has been a trusted ally in helping people reach their cholesterol goals. I've counted on Rescue for years, and with good reason. Their range of supplements designed to meet your specific needs, from omega-3s to red yeast rice and more. Take charge of your heart health today. Use the code DROP at checkout to double your order on any cholesterol product for free. Call today at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable product consultant or use the code online when you visit res-q.com. res-q.com. Remember to use the code DROP to buy one, get one free on Rescue Cholesterol products. Double up your cholesterol support today. Use the code DROP at res-q.com.
Wawa has new Southwest flavors like the roasted chicken fajita veggie quesadilla.
Fajita veggies?
Or the beefsteak burrito with salsa roja.
Salsa roja? Love.
You can also add fire-roasted corn and crispy jalapenos.
No way. All from Wawa.
Oh, you bet. Wawa's always keeping things fresh. And this time, it's with delicious Southwest flavors. Try them in a burrito, bowl, or quesadilla and build it just how you like it. Gotta have a Wawa.
Labor Day means back-to-school clothes for the kids, and that means a lot of laundry for you. There may not have been a deal on Little Debbie's designer denims, but you can save $300 on this Whirlpool top-load washer to make sure they last. There are more ways to wash with this 2-in-1 Whirlpool washer with removable agitator for only $449. The Labor Day sales event is going on now at Gerhardt's Appliances, where 80 years of small business is kind of a big deal.
Are you looking for a place to call home? Say hello to hassle-free home loans with American Heritage Credit Union. Our team will guide you through every step from pre-approval to closing. And with the MyCU Home Connection program through American Heritage, you can unlock exclusive benefits, including a $500 lender credit, cash rewards, and discount when you buy or sell a home. Visit AmericanHeritageCU.org/home connection to learn more. Insured by NCUA. Not a member? Join today. NMLS 433838.
At Wawa, you can always find the right drinks for the right time. And Wawa's pumpkin drinks are back sooner than ever, so you can enjoy the best of summer and fall. Enjoy a pumpkin brulee milkshake by the pool. Sip a pumpkin cheesecake smoothie while skateboarding. Or take a pumpkin spice iced coffee on a camping trip. At Wawa, anytime is drink time. And now's the time to feel cool and cozy with Wawa's new pumpkin flavors. Available in milkshakes, cream smoothies, and iced coffee. Gotta have a Wawa.
California Psychics is the real deal. They helped me out, totally changed my attitude, totally got me psyched to start my business, and take a new path in my life.
At California Psychics, we only connect our customers with the best. We reject 98% of the psychics who apply to us, so we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. New customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
La 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 la. Oops.
Ever had your singing lessons cut short by icy water?
Oh, I'm sorry, honey.
Say goodbye to those cold notes with Navien tankless water heaters. With Navien, you'll hit all the right notes without the surprise chill. So keep singing and let Navien keep the hot water flowing. And get ready for the encore when you get your utility bill.
La 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 la.
Navien tankless water heaters. Visit tanklessmadesimple.com.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
It is an unthinkable family tragedy. And right now, many mourners are preparing to gather for the funeral here in our area, and memorial, I should say, for the Goudreau brothers, midday today at St. Mary Magdalene Catholic Church in Media, Pennsylvania. Obviously, Johnny Goudreau, all-star for the Calgary Flames, Columbus Blue Jackets, known as Johnny Hockey, and his brother Matthew. The family lovingly called him Matty. Played collegiate hockey alongside his brother at Boston College. They were killed on the eve of their sister's wedding. So this service is set to begin in just under an hour here in our area in Media, Pennsylvania. I know some road closures were set to take place as because there are going to be so many here who want to pay tribute and just celebrate their lives and think about the loss and express to the family the grief. Oh, my goodness. I mean, Johnny was 31. His brother, Matty, was just 29 years young. And for John Goudreau, leaves behind his wife, 2 young kids. For Matt Goudreau, leaves behind, I know there was at least one GoFundMe page for his wife because the couple is expecting their first baby, yet unborn. So just, oh, my goodness. So this really is... It's just unthinkable. They were struck by this accused, I have to say this, alleged drunk driver and struck from behind. Nothing they could have done, I don't think. They were riding their bikes, for crying out loud, getting some exercise the evening before their sister's wedding, struck by this drunk driver, killed. It's just a horrific story, but many in our area. And I know it'll be streamed by a lot of the local news stations and even by, I think, the Blue Jackets and others. It's going to be streamed in many places if you would like to watch and just pay tribute. Just really saying a prayer. I can only say this to just put this family up in prayer. It's a horrible situation.
From a purely hockey perspective, too, you have a kid who's undersized. He's always been fantastic at hockey, but has an underdog attached to him, and there's not anybody in the NHL community that was a hater of Johnny Goudreau. It was just a really sad story that you see. But Eddie Vedder performed over the weekend, Wells Fargo Center here in Philadelphia, and had some kind words to say, if you want to hear that, Dawn.
Yeah.
It came up about this tragic accident that happened with the Goudreau brothers, and I just wanted to say that, I lost my brother 5 years ago in something that was very immediate and traumatic. Jeff Vaman lost one of his great friends in a similar fashion, and Chris told me it was even more. What made it even more tragic is that they were such good men. So hearing that they came from Philly and grew up watching games in this city, we thought we'd recognize them and wish their family and loved ones and teammates strength to get through. It's a difficult time. So this was for joining me.
So I know a GoFundMe for Matt's widow, Madeline, to support her and their baby. The baby's due, by the way, the baby's due in December. So I know that GoFundMe has received donations from more than 9,000 people. Those donations continue to pour in. I think they've raised more than $600,000 the last I saw. And then as far as the suspect, the driver, 43-year-old Sean Higgins, suspected of being under the influence of alcohol, facing 2 counts of death by auto, along with many other charges. He has been jailed ever since this happened, and they have postponed his hearing that is set for this Friday, September 13th, so facing those charges. And New Jersey State Police had said that, in fact, he had failed a sobriety test and was driving under the influence. So we'll continue to keep them in our prayers. The other big story, of course, here in our area is this story of a third arrest after the shooting threat posted on TikTok forced the closure of multiple schools across South Jersey. I've talked a lot about it since 6 o'clock this morning, but that update that now they have 3, I think that as of early this morning, they were only confirming 1 arrest. Now it's 3. And so the latest, we're told, is a 15-year-old under arrest. And I believe that 15-year-old is from Mullica Hill. So there's one juvenile, one youth, as we say, one youth from Woodbury, one from Glassboro, the 15-year-old from Mullica Hill. Yes?
I just asked, what is a ute?
A ute? Wasn't that, what movie was it?
I'm calling it
The Utes. But so I'm, and look, we're trying to find some humor in some of this. Thank God nobody was injured in this. It was a school threat. They have disabled the threat. Kudos to law enforcement. Sounds like they worked with the school district. They did the right thing. We've talked a lot about it this morning, but hopefully that spurs the conversations just in general across the community as far as these threats. Law enforcement has to take them seriously. And even somebody who thinks, oh, haha, this is funny, I'm going to get a free day off school. These students, these 3 students face serious charges. But in the past, we know sometimes depending on what the parents know and the parental responsibility, sometimes parents can even face charges or at least a fine for if in any way they could have thwarted something. But, because this takes a lot of law enforcement. You have an entire school district or 2 school districts shut down. So thousands of people are impacted. And by the way, even some at the college level, we talked about Rowan and another tech school, they don't have transportation this morning because these 3 idiots decide to post a threat. It's not funny.
So I'll throw you what's, I agree with you 100%. Just want to put that out there that the school should be closed today. But a lot of the pushback you see in the comment sections, Reddit, has been, we as Americans, we don't change our lives due to terroristic threats. You continue life as normal. And, when we start subsiding to terroristic threats, it's a slippery slope. Your response to those types of people?
My response would be, depending on the school, because there were multiple schools. So these are, some of them are huge high schools, junior high school level, middle schools, Catholic schools are on the list as well. So depending on the school, especially the private school, probably can be more flexible. So if I learn of the 3rd arrest from law enforcement, I would have loved to have seen, especially a private school, because, right, they have the flexibility to say, we've just learned of the 3rd arrest. Police are confident that there's no longer a credible threat to this. This was a stupid move by juveniles, The threat is gone. If anybody can make their way to school, we have the school open. I think that would have. To me, that's fantastic.
Stupid juveniles, though, and it's what it looks like it might be here, hopefully.
Yeah.
Throw the book at them, set an example, make an example.
Yep. If you do something like that, it's proven that you throw the book at that person. And by the way, in the private school system, you are much more likely to be booted for something like that. The public schools make it more difficult. And so back to Trump talking about draining the swamp and critical of the Department of Education. And some of the executive orders that people might not realize, and forgive me, I did an interview with, it was Terry Tracy, Broad and Liberty, and this was like, I don't know, maybe it was within the past year. He talked about some of the Biden executive orders. So one of those that had to do with, allegedly supporting the LGBTQ plus community. If you really read the fine print in some of what Biden put forth in his executive orders, if you really read it, it makes it more difficult. It makes it non-transparent for school districts at the local level to deal with these things. Okay? And that's why these executive orders and the fine print matter. And so with the Biden administration, they allow the lack of transparency. They allow school districts and school boards to act in a way that they don't have to answer even to the school board, to the community. That's a real problem. We need transparency within this. We need a plan B, if you will. And we need to allow local municipalities like these schools to have their own flexibility, even a local school within their own district, to say, hey, we've got this. We've got the law enforcement in place. We're going to screen. We have a mechanism in place that we know we're going to keep everybody safe. If they are confident within that, let them go. Let them start at noon. And in particular, by the way, and I say this with a son who has football practice this evening, did you know that all after-school sports are canceled tonight? Well, guess what? For a lot of JV teams, they've got games tonight. So the JV, because the varsity team, yep, they played on, right, they played their game on Friday, Saturday, whatever. Now the JV guys and gals, they're not going to be able to go forth with their games. That sucks. Let them play. And so that's where my head is. If there's an active threat, of course, obviously, that's not what this is. But you've got to have that flexibility. The more that you do what Trump said, remove the onus, the federal government, their bureaucracy, that's what they add to this. Give these local municipalities the power to maneuver and to set forth some great policies and to work with parent volunteers. Hey, maybe the school has to make sure that all the parent volunteers, and I'm one of them, I've got all my clearances. My teenage sons have their clearances, right? So they've gone through that because they're volunteers with like police athletic league, that sort of thing. Make sure you have you got to follow the rules, but what does that mean? More parent volunteers, more hands on deck as far as saying, we've got this. And that's the kind of thing I interpret that Trump is for, and that Biden, in his Biden-Harris, if I just view their actions, that they're against. There it is. 855-839-1210, the number to call. Okay, I do have to take a break because I know we have Andre Beliveau. You know him well. He's a policy guy that is going to look within, especially energy policy. When Trump talks about energy, specifically here in Pennsylvania, we've heard a lot about that. It matters. It matters for the Pennsylvania vote, but it also matters for the nation. So we're going to get inside all of that and get inside Andre's head. And your thoughts, 855-839-1210. Be right back.
Talk Radio 1210's Huge Politics and Pints with Donald Trump Jr. is Thursday, September 12th. Be there as Dom Giordano talks to Donald Trump Jr. about the election, politics, and all things Trump. Thursday, September 12th at Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood. Your tickets include a copy of Letters to Trump by former President Trump. A cash bar will be available. Get your tickets now at 1210WPHT.com.
The exclusive crash-proof retirement system continues to be tried, true, and proven by over 5,000 crash-proof consumers.
I am Nancy Harding. This is my husband, Robert. With the crash-proof system, we are inflation-proof.
To offset inflation, we could take more cash out. The rest of our system will continue to grow.
And at a faster rate than we take it out. It makes his sleep, hence my sleep, so much better.
Tom Herr, and this is Susan Herr, Norvon, Pennsylvania. The crash-proof system is fighting inflation for us. When prices do go up, we still have income coming in. And even though we're using money, we're still making more money. And at the end, we have more money than we started with.
We have those resources to make our life and retirement much more comfortable.
And we can sleep at night.
Yes, definitely.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the William Penn Inn on Tuesday, September 17th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
The following is a paid commercial message.
Donald Trump's back, and he's out for control.
I would have every right to go after them.
Complete control.
I will wield that power very aggressively.
And he has a plan to get it.
Detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do.
It's called Project 2025, a 922-page blueprint to make Donald Trump the most powerful president ever. Overhauling the Department of Justice, giving Trump the unchecked power to seek vengeance, eliminating the Department of Education, and defunding K-12 schools, requiring the government to monitor women's pregnancies, and Trump has also proposed severe cuts to Medicare and Social Security. Those are Donald Trump's plans.
Well, revenge does take time, I will say that. And sometimes revenge can be justified.
He'll take control, we'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for President.
Cancer, a scary word, but not so scary if you have the right team. Hi, this is John DeMasi, host of Health Watch, Sundays at 8 and again at 4 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. And that team is Dr. Molly Fantasia and the medical staff at Innovative Medical Associates. Yes, cancer is a scary word and a difficult condition if you've been diagnosed. Over the years, the staff at Innovative Medical Associates has helped hundreds of patients with their unique medical hydration protocols. Cancer support is a large part of the practice at Innovative Medical Associates.
We believe in medical hydration. We've improved it so much that we are able to help people across the board with challenges before they become chronic.
Talk about improving your quality of life. Most likely, that'll happen when you visit Innovative Medical Associates. Check them out on the web at innovativemedicalassociates.com or call 856-489-0505 to schedule your initial complimentary consultation.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-6641. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Calling on Percy to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app.
Download it now.
Energy policy is not boring. This is critical, okay? And for Pennsylvania, you think about the fact that Trump always says we're sitting on this liquid gold. He's correct. I would love to see Donald J. Trump come out and say, hey, Pennsylvanians, you're living on this liquid gold and you should actually get a rebate. Wouldn't that be lovely to tap into our resources as an energy producer? And wouldn't it be fantastic if we got a rebate? Wow. Is that possible? Well, let's ask somebody who I always say is a biggity big. This is somebody who is a brilliant gentleman, senior manager of energy policy at the Commonwealth Foundation. which, of course, is Pennsylvania's free market think tank. Andre Beliveau, good morning. Good to talk to you.
Good morning, Don. Happy Monday. And you're very kind. Thanks so much.
But you are, and I suspect, some people might say, look at your long resume and your honors, Johns Hopkins University, et cetera. And, but I will say that you know your stuff inside and out. And so I just wonder if we can pick your brains as to, when Trump says this, he puts it into, I think, a plain, everyday person's language when he talks about this. But just to give the background of this, what is Pennsylvania's, as far as our energy policy, what does it mean to the nation? And then also for Pennsylvanians and for voters here, what does it mean? And you and I have talked a lot about regulations and jobs. What does it mean if you zoom in to Pennsylvania, then zoom out nationally?
Yeah, Pennsylvania literally, it's the keystone state, but it's also the keystone to American energy security and American energy dominance. And Pennsylvania is the largest exporter of power in the country. We're the second largest producer of natural gas. Our energy economy in state is a boom. It provides almost half a there's what is it? The numbers around 500,000 jobs in the Commonwealth in the energy industry. Our energy economy is the lifeblood of Pennsylvania's economy. So it is extremely important in state to Pennsylvania's economy, to our job market, and Pennsylvanians understand this. They know the role that Pennsylvania's energy industry provides, not just to the Commonwealth, but to the country. And at a time, we are seeing nationwide increases of energy demand. And of course, policies are leading us that way. The environmental left wants us to electrify everything, and we're seeing policies coming from Democrats. Everything needs to be electrified, which of course increases the demand for energy. But simultaneously, we're seeing policies from the left that are trying to decrease our capacity to deliver on that demand because policies are looking to take reliable energy sources offline out of this, fever dream net zero climate radicalism that is looking to attack the oil and gas industry, which is providing reliable power while also decreasing our emissions, by the way. So it's just kind of a fun, the position we find ourselves in is, even in Pennsylvania, if we look at our carbon emissions, they have decreased from a transition from coal to natural gas. And what happens from the Biden-Harris administration to Governor Josh Shapiro, they want to try to attack the very industry that's helping lower the emissions that they claim to be their goal. But of course, we know the goal is really just about propping up renewables, propping up wind and solar, where they're getting their campaign donations from. So this is where we are at. We are at an energy crossroads where, on the one hand, we can have a future where market drives our energy future, and we can have American energy abundance and security, or we can have government central planning. We can have tax credits and subsidies for unreliable energy, and we can try to, use Marxism to eventually wind us up with energy poverty. And that's really what we have before us.
And so it gets confusing because fairly recently we heard about, I guess I'm going to paraphrase it and call it safe fracking. So Governor Josh Shapiro, who's a Democrat, as well as the Democrats in general, have come out with this talking point to say, well, we're not going to really cut those so-called fracking jobs or energy jobs because, there's such a thing as safe fracking. And we're going to regulate it as long as you exercise safe fracking, then it's going to be okay. And so, so this is, on one hand, what I see here, and just clarify this for me if you would. On one hand, the Biden administration, the Biden-Harris administration, Democrats, they're trying to have it both ways, if you will. On one hand, they're saying, no, we believe in climate change. We're not changing our values. But on the other hand, there's such a thing as, doing things the right way with all these regulations, and then fracking will be okay. And so they're still trying to court, obviously, the workers who do those jobs involving hydraulic fracturing. So what do you see here can people who believe that fracking, so-called, is a safe way to, as well as other petroleum-related industries, but that this is that your job is safe, and that you can trust.
And I mean the oil and gas industry. I mean, they know what they're doing. They know how to do this safely. They know how to do it well. I mean, they have an incentive it's a pure business model. If you're not doing this safely and effectively, you're not going to have a successful business. So I think we just have to understand that purely as a business model, the oil and gas industry knows how to do it. They know how to do it well. And the American oil and gas industry, the American energy industry more broadly, I mean, we are the leader, not only in providing reliable power and energy, but doing it safely and responsibly, and we're lowering our emissions. And this is a false dichotomy. It's not you have to believe in climate change or you have to believe in reliable power. These things can work harmoniously. We've created this false dichotomy in our political rhetoric that you have to to believe in one, you have to get rid of the other. That's not true. We can responsibly deal with our environmental issues while ensuring that we still have energy security and abundance that is affordable. These things do not have to go. These are not separate things. These can coexist. And I mean, in Kamala Harris, she has actually just now finally released some of her policy proposals on her website. So it looks like we're moving from a vibes election only to maybe now some policy proposals. And we've been talking a lot about her flip-flopping on fracking, but if you look on her campaign website, she's talking about her energy policy proposals. She's celebrating the energy policy record of the Biden-Harris administration, which has been a horrible energy record. She talks about the Inflation Reduction Act. Well, the Inflation Reduction Act is expected to funnel $663 billion in unreliable energy tax credits over the next 10 years. It is continuously poisoning our reliable energy markets. It's threatening grid reliability. We've talked in the past about the liquid natural gas pause that came from the Biden-Harris administration, the EPA trying to get rid of reliable power. So, it really, I mean, the record of the Biden-Harris administration is clear. It's been horrible on energy. That's being now celebrated by the Harris team. So, I mean, really, it's these proposals are let's say she has changed on fracking. Let's just say that's true. It's still death by 1,000 cuts to American energy with a laundry list of radical progressive policies.
Yeah, and one of those, and we talked about LNG, and I just saw recently how this is such great news for Qatar in the Middle East, right? They're picking up that this means more business for them.
And Russia, which makes absolutely no sense. We should be the focus of the world's energy. There's no reason why Americans shouldn't have energy security and independence for ourselves, but also why we shouldn't be, dominating globally in the energy markets. I mean, Pennsylvania sits, so many people say, the Saudi Arabia of North America. There is no reason that Pennsylvania's energy economy and America's energy economy should be booming, and our allies overseas should be looking to Pittsburgh. They should be looking to Pennsylvania and Texas, not Russia, for their energy needs. So this just makes absolutely no sense, Dawn. These policies coming from the left, it makes no sense to me.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't we, in 2019, under the previous administration, that was something that we hadn't seen in more than 6 decades in this country. America, for the first time, was energy independent in 2019. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. And is that due to hydraulic fracturing?
The boon in American energy independence and our expansion of our energy markets 100% came from the Marcellus Shale boon in western Pennsylvania. I mean, the ability to do hydraulic fracturing to expand our ability on our natural gas resources 100%. I mean, natural gas is increasingly being able to provide baseload power, but it's reliable, it's dispatchable, it's clean, and the way we produce power, everything from downstream to upstream to the actual production of energy. I mean, American energy leads in clean energy power, and that includes our fossil fuel industry. So yeah, 100%. And also, we've actually had an increase of oil and gas production under the Biden administration, which is kind of counterintuitive from the policy. So it's like we have this increase, but we can't get the product to market. The problem is that we're able to extract these resources out of the ground, but we have issues with our natural gas infrastructure, our pipelines. We need more of it, but policies at the federal level, coming from mostly influenced by the progressive left, blockade our ability to expand our natural gas infrastructure. And also, weirdly enough, there's so much government red tape preventing the increase in nuclear power, which, I mean, nuclear power, if you care about our emissions, that's a no-brainer. It is the most reliable zero carbon emitting source that we have, yet government red tape and ridiculous progressive policies get in the way of expanding our nuclear fleet. So it's kind of, like you said, Dawn, it's like they're kind of talking out of both sides of their mouth, and the policies, their own policies, are damaging what should be a boon right now, even under the current administration, with the increase we've seen in our oil and gas production.
And so what about all these jobs, as far as, here in Pennsylvania in particular? Are these jobs already, a lot of them, gone? Can they come back?
I wouldn't say they're all gone. Again, it's almost, it's 500,000 jobs in the Commonwealth come from our energy industry, and most of them are coming from mostly from oil and gas and also nuclear power and others. But we can certainly have more, and we should have more. We should be able. What we really need is greater infrastructure. We need permitting reform, not only in state. We definitely need our lawmakers in Harrisburg to be doing some robust permitting reform. So energy projects and environmental projects in Pennsylvania can thrive and flourish, but also at the federal level. And I think if we focus on allowing our projects to thrive by getting bad regulations out of the way, not only will this solve a lot of our energy capacity crisis, but this will maintain the jobs that we have and certainly create more jobs in the future. And it would certainly create more jobs by thinking about American energy abundance than thinking about removing energy from our grid and from production, which is what the environmental left wants to do fundamentally.
Yes. And so for you thinking about energy, Pennsylvania, what will you be watching for as far as tomorrow for either of the candidates, Trump or Harris? What will you be watching for in their answers about policy and energy? And I imagine there will be a Pennsylvania question, but it has ramifications for the nation.
Absolutely. One, I would actually like to see the answer. If Kamala Harris has legitimately flip-flopped on fracking, I want to hear why. I think that should be articulated, why she now supports it. I think that both candidates need to be focused on what's their answer to some of these net zero policies? What's their answer to increase infrastructure in our natural gas? Is there going to be a reversal of this LNG pause? But really what I think needs to be answered, and both candidates should talk about this, what is the future of the Inflation Reduction Act, the green energy subsidies? That is a serious problem for affordable power in this country, and these energy tax credits need to be rolled back in the IRA. And what is their plan for that in order for us to have affordable energy? And also, what is the plan for pulling the United States out of the Paris Climate Accord? And I'd like to hear from President Trump that he would like to see that happen in Congress. If it's a congressional act and it's done by the Senate and not done by executive order, it has a lot more standing and grounding. So those are some of the things I'm going to be looking for. I'm sure they won't address all of these directly, but there are ways that I think we can tell where they're signaling on some of these policies.
Andre Beliveau, thank you so much for your insights. Really appreciate you. You can find him, follow him on Twitter, on X, @TheRealBeliveau. Thanks, Andre.
Thanks, Don.
Until next time. By the way, he had a great comeback to the never Trumper, alleged former conservative, whatever she is, Alyssa Farah Griffin, on The View, and we'll talk about The View upcoming, but she had put out there in late August, if you're a Republican who votes on policy, there are many reasons to oppose Trump. If you vote on adherence to the Constitution, there are many reasons to oppose Trump. If you vote on character, it's very easy to oppose Trump. That was her. She thought she was so smart to put that out. And boom, at The Real Beliveau, Andre puts out, and the same can be said about Harris. Truly, he wrote on social media, there's no conservative case this election cycle. Some people will not be able to stomach not voting, and I get that. But turning principled conservative opposition to MAGA into celebrating progressives is not the way. And I love that answer, it was a very great comeback to her, that if you are a conservative, or I would venture even if you're an independent, to celebrate far left progressives is not the way. It's not the path. Your thoughts? 855-839-1210. Be right back.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Very pleasant and quiet conditions remain in place through the week. Plenty of sunshine today, high temperature a bit below average at 79. Clear and comfortable tonight, low 60 for the city, cooler out in the suburbs. A bit warmer on Tuesday, the sunshine continues with a high 81.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The following is a paid commercial message.
Bob Casey is lying to seniors. Listen to this whopper.
We're lowering prescription drug costs. Lowering
prescription drug costs? Not even close. Prices for medications are soaring. Casey's had nearly 2 decades in Washington. He hasn't fixed it. He's made it worse. Casey even voted for higher taxes on seniors' Social Security benefits. That's right. Casey pushed higher taxes on seniors. Casey also voted for a bill that could raise out-of-pocket drug costs for seniors. Seniors are already struggling with sky-high prices. But instead of helping, Bob Casey is trying to fool seniors and hide his failed record. Casey has had nearly 20 years in Washington. What's he given us? Higher costs and higher taxes. That's the real Bob Casey. He's wrong for Pennsylvania. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. SenateLeadershipFund.org.
Make your home renovation dreams come true with Emmons Remodeling.
We handle everything from concept to completion, delivering beautiful, functional spaces for you and your family to enjoy.
Our seasoned designers and construction experts ensure your project is completed on time and on budget.
Give us a call today at 856-885-6677 or visit callemmons.com.
From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
Family & Company Jewelers on Route 70 in Marlton, New Jersey is known for being South Jersey's diamond destination and your trusted jeweler for quality, service, and price. Choose from the largest selection of engagement rings in the area or have their master jewelers create a one-of-a-kind ring just for your special day. Visit their showroom or shop online at familyjewelers.com.
Family & Company Jewelers, South Jersey's diamond destination.
This is a commercial for California Psychics, America's most trusted psychic network. So, if you're waiting for a sign, this is it. No, really, this is it. You won't see your soulmate's face in the clouds or your career path mapped out in your cappuccino foam. This really is it. We could add some dramatic sound effects if you'd like. So what you waiting for? Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Wow, honey, have you seen the electric bill?
Yeah, it's out of control. But have you heard of Navien tankless water heaters?
Tankless? How does that even work?
Well, instead of constantly heating and storing water, it only heats water when we need it. So much more efficient than our giant tank heater.
That sounds great. Let's look into Navien.
Already on it.
Imagine all the hot water you need only when you need it. Bulky tanks are history. Navien high-efficiency tankless is the future. Compact, wall-hung units free up floor space, lower energy bills, longer life than tanks, and a 15-year warranty. Find out more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Keep free speech alive. Follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Southern white women. If you can have a shopping spree from your husband, then you can vote for Kamala Harris. Because the bottom line is, you are the only person in that voting booth who knows who the hell you're voting for. I would rather lie through my teeth to everyone I know if it means I did the right thing come November. You are a Southern white woman and you do not know who to vote for. That is your sign. That is your gut. That is your intuition. That is your soul telling you to do something you've never done and be brave by voting in a way you've never voted before. How the hell do I know this? Because I was you in 2016. I didn't know who to vote for. I could have cared less for either candidate.
Probably a paid influencer. She's my cray-cray of the day.
Cray-cray of the day.
Crazy chick alert. No, first of all, you know, my number one tip is don't listen to her. And, you know, to come out there and say, if you can hide a shopping trip from your husband, then, I don't know, What is up with that?
Seven white women.
You're not even your own woman.
Spree
Like
from
I have
your
my own
husband?
credit card. Like really? Like you? What did you marry? A sugar daddy? So what does that
Great
make
point.
you?
It's a fantastic point.
What does that make you? Mama Zioli, we have exclusive audio. Right? I mean, she's already bought and sold, baby. Just like her vote. And she's probably a paid influencer, whatever. I just think, do your own research. But this is unfortunately, this is an influencer. This is the kind of nutty logic that somebody uses to come out.
I think they're blowing it up.
I want to know, where's Mama Zioli's Pulitzer? Where is it? Darn it.
Oh, be careful, baby.
I'll just remind you that part-time jobs, think about our country over the last year to year, those August job numbers that we talked about, was that on Thursday or Friday? It's the part-time economy. We lost 438,000 full-time jobs, okay? That's what the month's net job growth coming entirely from gains in part-time employment. And of course, it's a part-time president. Joe Biden and Kamala, I guess you could say that they are the part-time, what would you say? They're the part-time politicians. So I guess they'll own it. They're the part-time president and vice president. But yeah, part-time jobs. That's soaring in the United States of America. That's their legacy, that our economy lost hundreds of thousands of full-time jobs. And it's a joke that the media doesn't focus on this. So I think that's the economic news that matters. Who is that?
Sorry, that was just another thing I stumbled upon. It's
Another
a mother
crazy?
making $60,000 and can't afford her daughter's medical procedure, and now they're talking about downgrading her job and salary so she can reach some kind of welfare status, but not related to what we're talking about.
Wow,
But, yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Do we have to take a break?
Yes, we do.
We have to take a break, but we'll get to the not so crazy. You want to talk about what's brave, since that lady lying about her shopping to her sugar daddy. What is brave is this lady she lives in one of my favorite places in the world, and it's Fort Myers, Naples. And what she battled is an incredible story. So we're going to get to her and much more developing right around the corner.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
What was it that drove you? Is it kind of like a family legacy?
My great-grandfather, Anthony Carpinella, part of the greatest generation. He's a World War II Navy veteran. That did help in my decision to serve.
TMF is going to be kicking off their 17th annual 9/11 Heroes Run. Are you yourself participating in those?
The ruck is what I participate in.
Keep up the great work, Sean.
Excellent. I hope to see you there. And thank you so much for everything that you do. Greatly appreciate it.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app. Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano for my friend, dentist and board-certified prosthodontist Dr. Robert Bentz and the Bentz Dental Group. His state-of-the-art facility makes your dentistry as easy as can be. Recently, they had a permanent tooth put in, and you know how it is. In the past, you bite down, it's too high, it's always too high. The back and forth getting it just right. Well, not this time. With Dr. Bentz, it fit perfectly the first time. Call the Bentz Dental Group now, 610-272-6949. Visit BentzDentalGroup.com, 610-272-6949.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I have a serious heart condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, or HCM. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. I still had symptoms on my beta blocker, so I asked my cardiologist about any treatment advances. It was a breakthrough for me. That's why I'm working with Bristol Myers Squibb to raise awareness about HCM and to help others like me. Talk to your cardiologist today and visit hcmrealtalk.com for more information.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb.
Hey, it's Rhea Hughes. Fall is upon us, and now is the perfect time to head over to Lexus of Cherry Hill for the L Certified Fall Collection sales event. It's much nicer than pumpkin spice. They have over 300 new and L Certified pre-owned Lexus to choose from. Shop great deals and save with special finance rates on L Certified Lexus vehicles now through November 4th. Stop in and see my friend Tony Labello and his team, or visit online at lexusofcherryhill.com. Lexus of Cherry Hill, family owned and operated.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me, 40 days up to 40 pounds. Visit njdiet.com or call 855-5NJ-DIET. That's 855-5NJ-DIET. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds.
Hi, this is Joe Meterchick, PNC Bank Regional President. Sticking to the fundamentals and not wavering from the game plan is a great philosophy for football and banking. And for nearly 160 years, our dedicated local PNC teams are in formation to help fans receive sound and reliable personalized financial advice to get them across the goal line. Because, as we see it, a win for them is a win for the greater Philadelphia community. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
See Joe Conklin's comedy show and meet Ike Reese.
Archbishop Wood basketball team, it's your boy Ike Reese.
That's Conklin at Wood, September 28th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
JoeConklin.com.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living, barely getting by. It's all taking and
Do you remember your first job? I remember the first time I had a job that was a full-time summer job as a teenager, and I felt, first of all, so proud of myself.
Yeah.
It was great to have my own money, and that really, I think, is something that people who think, oh, well, the government's going to give you everything, that means the government is robbing you of self-esteem, robbing you of the opportunity to do for yourself and feel that level of confidence.
Don't bury the lead. What'd you do?
My first full-time job was a summer job as a factory worker.
Whoa. What were you making?
Tacos and taco chips. True story. Yep.
Hold on.
In
So
high
take me through the
school.
process. Like, as a teenager, you walk into the factory. Your assignment is it quality control?
No, like I was on the line.
You're actually making the tacos.
And they were laughing
So
at
are
me.
they like
'cause
frozen tacos that get sent out to a
No,
store?
they're made fresh. You got to make sure that they're on the thing, and they time you. But I liked it because they
the
paid
Mexican
really
food
well.
factory, like where we working?
This was like a factory, like a
love it.
And I was on. Okay, now this is too much information.
No,
but
I want to hear this.
everybody else I worked with, they were from Laos. They had escaped communism, and at first I was like, I can't believe I have to have. My parents said like you gotta. And but I loved these people, and they were so thankful to have this like cruddy job in a 500-degree factory. But that summer was so inspirational to me because I said I'll never complain. Like I loved these people. They were like, we're so grateful we made it to America. They were all young, and like 18 to 25. Their parents had been murdered, right, by the communists. They literally dove into the river and like swam to freedom, like the whole thing. And they were amazing people, and they were so grateful to come to America through churches, seeking asylum as legal asylum seekers.
It's fascinating to hear the origin story of Dawn. So that's where
I
the
know.
conservative ideology, the anti-communist nature comes from, right?
Yeah.
And,
I mean, I've worked with them, firsthand as young people, just They were amazing.
And you talk about the immigrants from Laos. You hear that again and again today. You have a left trying to capture the immigrant vote, but the reality is so many of these people come from communism. They realize the policies that you're promoting, leftists, are dangerous to a country.
So true. Amen. Well, according to these stats about part-time labor, they were released on Friday. But do you ever notice that, and to be fair, most administrations will do this. If they don't like something, they'll release it on a Friday, especially in the summertime. But this is the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and they're talking about the number of these part-time jobs rising, more than 500,000 people. So you look year to year, we lost about 1.02 million full-time jobs. That's what we lost over the year. Okay, but we gained 1.06 million part-time jobs. So the Biden administration puts out a press release and says, we're the administration of job creation. Yeah, part-time jobs. And that's critical, right? So these are part-time jobs that you don't have the benefits. You don't have the better pay. I think that's
where you can blame progressives for this, that we're seeing an explosion in part-time jobs because they've enabled corporations to essentially find a way out of having to pay their employees' insurance or their benefits, their child care, and for good reason, these corporations are saying, I'm not going to foot the bill if the government's going to do it. I'm going to hire you as part-time and keep you under 30 hours and make you get Obamacare.
Right. We have to get to the story tomorrow about the rules in Philadelphia where they were trying to say you were not allowed to eat at your desk during lunch. And then they realized.
How else do you eat it?
I know. Everybody was furious. So they're like, all right, you can eat your lunch at your desk. We'll get to that tomorrow because we got to get to this brave 84-year-old lady, 84 years young. And she is she's walking her dog. And they're attacked by this 7-foot huge gator.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Just walking along, having an evening stroll.
This is Fort Myers, Florida.
It's a moment of survival. I can understand men and women in war now, where it just turns on.
She says she's in good spirits because her dog is okay, but doesn't want anyone to go through what she went through. She says that gator was fast, and she had to think quick to save herself and her dog.
It was like a torpedo. I have never seen anything move that fast in all my life. I didn't have time to think.
Del Bopple's evening dog walk Thursday was the scariest she's had.
All of a sudden, I had a premonition. I'm telling you, it was like, uh-oh.
That gut feeling was a 7-foot gator about to lunge right at her.
That alligator took off like 35 miles an hour, and I'm not joking.
Bopple says she got close to the pond at Julia Mobile Home Park off Slater Road. She saw Gator's eyes looking back at her. Before she could think of anything else, she tossed her small Shih Tzu named Queen up in the air.
Oh, Queen!
Then the gator chomped.
Save the Queen.
Out of me.
After a few good hits, that gator did scurry away, but not until it took a chunk out of her leg and fingers.
So who would you say first? If it was the kid or the gator, who were you?
Probably the dog.
No, you gotta save Queen. But it's amazing how she just, thought to fight. And thank God one of her neighbors, because it's so hot there, and somebody had put their, just to get some air or whatever, and then put the window down, realized that they saw her screaming, and this gator, engaged with her leg in its mouth.
And she's 84 years old, fights it off, bonks it.
Tough gal.
So here in Jersey, I just moved out to Deptford, Dawn, and I got a dog, Callie, an amazing pit bull mix. But walking her, in my neighborhood, it turns out we have coyotes. And both I, at one point, and Maisie came face to face with a coyote. So now we carry around a
mace.
Yeah, mace, bear spray. Yeah,
bear spray to spray them.
Yeah, it's scary. No thanks.
And it's not a red fox. It's a coyote.
No, it's legitimately, there's 2 coyotes.
Oh my goodness.
A poor neighbor has signs up for, a little, I think it might be a Shih Tzu or a similar dog, like a lost dog, and nobody wants to tell her.
Yeah.
There's
That's
coyotes.
awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was going to say that we have I see the red fox, every once in a while, but they want roadkill. But the coyote.
Do you guys have a pup?
Hmm?
Do you guys have a dog?
Our dog Buddy, I hate to tell you this, our doggy Buddy boy, he died last week.
Oh my gosh, Dawn.
I know. I'm so sad.
I'm so sorry to touch such a sore subject.
So he went to Buddy's in heaven. Oh, I'm in heaven. He's watching over your doggy. But no, but he was at least 16 that we know of because he was a rescue.
Yeah. What kind of dog?
He was a mix. He was like a lab, husky, some kind of a shepherd, like it's a mutt. We rescued him.
Yeah.
That's why we're not sure of his age because he was.
So are you in the morning phase and there's just absolutely no idea for a new dog?
Larry says, "Oh, we can get a new puppy." I'm like, "No, don't stop."
That's the worst. Is you get so many years of enjoyment, but then the ultimate crushing nature of when that dog passes it's terrible.
It is. It's crushing. It's devastating. But we love our doggies. I'm glad her doggie Queen survived. And I'll have to give you. We have all this farmer's dog food, by the way, in the freezer. So if you want, I'll bring it in tomorrow if you want it for your pup.
Yeah, we're planning to switch to farmer's dog, and it'd be nice to
Really?
have a little trial period here. Yeah,
I will give it to you because
I would love that.
Buddy we thought he was not going to make it, and I swear it gave him a year and a half of just health.
Yeah, it's good to hear that over and over again with this all natural style food. And
Food
that's
is
amazing.
medicine.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I'll bring it in tomorrow. Let's get to the Dom Show. Dom Giordano standing by. Hey, Dom.
Hey, Dawn, I'm bringing in the same food for Dan and Henry. I got to get these producers some shelf life and energy here.
Me and Henry are going to be eating Dawn stuff.
Can I tell you something? One day I had it because I warmed it up in the microwave a little, and Larry's like, "Oh, is this?"
Got to take a taste, right?
Is this for? I'm like, "Honey, that's Buddy's."
Oh my God!
Did Larry actually taste it?
Oh, just the thought of it, I can't continue.
I've actually eaten a bacon bit before. It's not that bad. It's almost
goodness, so please.
It's like the bacon bits, the fake bacon bits.
It's a sin, Dom.
Yeah, exactly.
Living on a dare, I promise. Not willingly.
So, Dawn, we're going to talk to our buddy Joe of South Philly, he of the Poster, and Leanne Savaloff, the mom from South Philly. They have that big flag-waving thing tomorrow night to send President Trump into the debate. We'll talk with Alina Abba about all these legal machinations, including Jack Smith. She's the president's lawyer at 2 o'clock.
Oh, great Dom Show. Just ahead, it's Monday. Dom Show's right ahead.
Hey, it's Greg with Kale and Company. What a great NFL weekend that was. Hopefully you listened to my live spots and took -2.5 on your Philadelphia Eagles. And now you have another chance to start the season with a big return on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. It's America's #1 sportsbook. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet on tonight's game. The big matchup tonight, Aaron Rodgers returns with the New York Jets at the San Francisco 49ers. And you can hear all of it tonight right here on 1210 WPHT. How about this same game parlay? Breece Hall anytime touchdown, Christian McCaffrey on the over rushing yards, and Aaron Rodgers on the over passing yards. All you have to do is go to FanDuel.com/Greg to make every moment more this season. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and over, President, Pennsylvania. First online real money wager, only $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here. Isn't it time to invest in yourself? Well, how about this? Start a PI Dental Center with decades of experience in complex dental treatment, and I've been a patient of PI Dental for 20 years. Dr. Glenn Wolfinger and Dr. Robert Slough, they're board-certified prosthodontists. They specialize in the restoration and replacement of teeth, and PI Dental Center are the originators of the teeth in a day. It's a revolutionary treatment that delivers fixed teeth and implants placed for a dramatic transformation in a mere 1 day. So visit PIDentalCenter.com. That's PIDentalCenter.com to request your new patient evaluation.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
So many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP